Hello student, this is the second part of video for chapter number 5 from geography. So in the last video we have learned about the waves. Generally waves, how it is being formed when the surface of the ocean rises up and falls alternatively. These are called as waves, and during a storm it become more huge, and one of the huge wave is called as tsunami. Now how it is caused? Because of the earthquake, volcanic eruption and landslide under the water body, that is mainly seabeds. So this can cause a huge waves that is called as huge tidal waves that is called as tsunami, and normally it can rise up to the height of 15 meter, but the highest waves is measured by 150 meter, and it can also travel 700 kilometer per hour. So the similar kind of tsunami was caused in 2004 in India, the case study that we are going to cover in this video. As you can see here, the tsunami, the earth's pandemonium. Tsunami or the harbor wave, as it is derived from the Japanese word, the harbor wave. Tsunami means harbor waves. Struck havoc in Indian Ocean on 26 December 2004. The wave was the result of earthquake that its epicenter close to the western boundary of Sumatra. As we have read that tsunami is caused by three reasons: earthquakes, then landslide or volcanic eruption. So here it was caused because of the earthquake, and its epicenter was where? To the western boundary of Sumatra. Earthquake we have already learned in the last chapter. So from where the earthquake originates, that is called as epicenter, and above on the earth's surface, exactly above on the earth's surface, it is called as focus. That point is called as focus. So it is having the waves. These waves are called as seismic wave. So these seismic waves, as far it goes, is can call it as its magnitude would be less. It can cause less destruction at this seismic waves as it move far, but to the area where it is epicenter and where from it originates, mainly in the epicenter and above the focus. So nearby that area, that is destruction would be more. So here epicenter was found where? In the western boundary of Sumatra. Now how is the earthquake measured? That is measured by a Richter scale, and in Richter scale its measurement is calculated, the magnitude is calculated from 0 to 9. 9 is the last number at the Richter scale that was considered as the havoc earthquake caused, and the earthquake which occurred over here at the western boundary of Sumatra was considered that was at the magnitude measurement of 9.0 in the Richter scale. The instrument where the earthquake is read, that is called as seismograph, and where it is measured, it is called as, the instrument is called as Richter scale. So you can just imagine what havoc earthquake would occurred over here. Now because of this magnitude, what happened? The Indian plate went under the Burma plate. There was a sudden movement on the sea floor causing the earthquake. The ocean floor was displaced by about 10 to 20 meter and tilted in a downwardly direction. A huge mass of ocean water flowed to fill the gap that was being created by the displacement. This marked the withdrawal of the water mass from the coastline of the land masses in the South and Southeast Asia. After thrusting of the Indian plate below the Burma plate, the water masses rushed back towards the coastline. Tsunami traveled at a speed of 800 km per hour, comparable to the speed of commercial aircraft, and completely washed away some of the islands in the Indian Ocean. So because of the earthquake that caused in the seabed, what happened? There are 7 tectonic plates already we read about. So the Indian plate and the Burma plate, so generally they were similarly moving. These plates are always moving. What happened? These were the plates, the Indian plates, that moved under the Burma plate because of the earthquake on the seabed. In the seabed, this Indian plate moved little bit lower. So this movement, that displacement was about 10 to 20 meters. So this much displacement took place between the Burma plate and the Indian plate. So as we said, that is 10 to 20 centimeter, this displacement. So what happened? There is a gap, you can see over here, this gap. So suddenly when this plates displaced, the water from the seashore withdrew over here. The water accumulated in this region to fill this gap. The water withdrew over here. Now what happened? After got withdrawn from the seashore with the same speed and same force, you cannot say speed, but with the same force, when it filled the bag, suddenly it thrust back toward the seashore. So this is the seashore. So when it withdrew to fill this gap, with the same force it was thrust back to the seashore. Now what happened when it was thrusting back? What it caused? This caused a tsunami, a huge wave. With the same force it thrust back. Now the speed of this movement was considered as 800 km per hour. So it was thrust back with the speed of 800 km per hour because of the gap created. For what reason it was being created? Because of the earthquake. Now it was considered the speed of commercial aircraft, and because of this tsunami traveling from up to 800 km, what happened? In the way, whatever comes in the way of tsunami, it was washed off. Mainly many islands of Indian oceans were washed off. The Indira Point in the Andaman and Nicobar Island, that marks the southernmost point of the India, because Indira Point was considered as the southernmost point of India, that was completely submerged, that was in the water, completely in the water. As the wave moved from earthquake epicenter from Sumatra towards the Andaman Island and Sri Lanka, the wavelength decreased with the decreasing depth of the water. What happened? This was traveling from, because the epicenter was considered from Sumatra. Then these waves traveled to where? The seismic waves traveled up to Andaman Island and Sri Lanka. So as it is moving further, then it is decreasing the speed also, and the destruction or damage is less compared to. So when it was started, it was 800 km that we have learned, and it was keep on decreasing when it was coming towards Andaman and Sri Lanka. So the travel speed also declined from 700 to 900 km per hour, from there to 70 km per hour. So we have learned from where it was starting, that was 800 km. So from that speed it was declined to the speed of 70 km per hour. Tsunami waves traveled up to the depth of 3 km from the coast, killing more than 10,000 people and affected more than 3 lakh of houses. So what happened? The thrusted back tsunami waves that entered to the seashore. So this is up to seashore. From here it came to the land up to 3 kilometer. And what happened? Because it entered to the land area, it killed nearby 10,000 people and also affected more than lakhs of houses that was washed off. In India, the worst affected were the coastal areas of Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry and Andaman and Nicobar Islands, because that side which see we are having Bay of Bengal. So these all states are nearby the coastal lines. Actually they are lying near the coastal lines. So these areas, the states were affected. While the earthquake cannot be predicted in advance, it is possible to give the 3 hours notice of potential tsunami. So it is not predicted. We are not having that advanced technology to be predicted the earthquake. But as we are having the instrument, that seismograph, so 3-hour notice could be given before this comes. Such early warning systems are placed across the Pacific Ocean because there is the fiery volcanic mountains that we have learned. So that region is earthquake prone area, that is, but not in the Indian Ocean. So this kind of system is available in the Pacific Ocean, as it is considered as the earthquake prone area because there are many volcanic mountains, but not in the Indian Ocean, as we are not earthquake prone area, and this kind of earthquake is occurring less in the Indian Ocean. So tsunami are rare in the Indian Ocean as the seismic activity is less as compared to the Pacific, as I said, because there is volcanic mountain, so seismic activity is more there compared to the Indian Ocean. The tsunami that ravaged the South and Southeast Asia coast in December 2004 is the most devastating tsunami in the last several hundred years. The large damage caused to the life and property was primarily a result of lack of monitoring, because in general we can see, because we were not earthquake prone area, or we are not having that much seismic activity in the Indian Ocean, so that was because there was lack of monitoring. As it was not seismic activities area, we are not going to notice such things that in future the earthquake will occur like this. So the early warning system and knowledge among the coast dwellers of the Indian Ocean was also less. They were not knowing when these tsunami comes, or they never have faced this kind of tsunami in their life in the past and present also. So how they are going to know that what could be done when the tsunami is going to come, or how it is occurring, up to which area, or how many kilometers they have to stay away from the coastal regions. From the above paragraph, we have learned one thing, that the water is residing back when the earthquake is taking place in the oceans. Then there are several patterns also that you don't have to learn in this chapter, that is because it is not very easy to understand, but the common thing that we can understand when we are in the coastal region, that is when the water resides back, that is the sign of that the earthquake occur in the water body. So huge mass of water body, if it reside back from the seashore, so this is the sign that you have to go to the safe place, and mainly where to the top, to the highest places you have to move. Don't stay on the floor, or you can climb to the tree also. One of the person was saved because he climbed up the coconut tree, so he was survived by the tsunami. So like that you can just move to the highest tree where the tree is tall, so or the tallest building you can climb up. So this is the way how you can survive. And the sign, as I said, when the water resides back, so So this is the sign that you have to move from that coastal areas or from that beach. The first indication that tsunami is approaching is rapid withdrawal from the coastal region. As I said, the water is residing or withdrawing, followed by the destructive waves, because after that the waves are going to thrust back to the seashore. So when this happened on the coast, instead of people going to the high ground, they started assembling at the coast to view the miracle. So when they were not knowing about the tsunami, so generally what happened in the coastal region in 2004, they find it as a miracle, because the huge mass of water was withdrawing back, that was residing back. So to see that, they assembled in the coastal area. So as a consequence, there was a large casualty of curious onlookers when the gigantic wave tsunami struck. So at that time, the people most probably died because they were seeing this miracle, and they were not knowing that they have to move to the safer side. They assembled to the coastal areas. So this is how you can just protect yourself or survive from the tsunami, the huge waves.